Hello RC friends and welcome to another night of racing. This time at AORRC in Aylesbury, where I was running my Mardave Mini Assassin, my mini touring car, and touring car. Now I am going to be following this entire race series on the channel, so if you don't want to miss out on any of those videos, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comments below which is your favourite car. First up on the evening, it was time for practice, and with practice there's always very little grip, so you can't really tune your cars in. But this makes sense as all the carpets are cold from being in storage. But by the first race, the grip has picked up and it's all ready to go. During the practice though, I did make a bit of a boo-boo, and with it being a different track to what we've ever raced before, I forgot that the straight didn't go all the way along the back.
Oh, okay. I thought the straight went all the way down.
Nothing broke though, and I was happily reminded how hardy and sturdy the Mardave Minis are. With practice over, it was time to race prep the cars. So I sorted a battery out for the Mardave, and for the mini touring car and touring car, I put the additive on the tyres, and I also moved the rear shocks to try and get some more rear grip. Luckily for me, I managed to get it all done just in time for my first Mardave race, for which I was on pole position. And that was my first A pole ever, and I was very excited. Now Mark was very quick, and with this only being qualifying, there was no reason for me to try and keep the position and fight with him for it, and I didn't want to hold him up or feel extra pressure on me to kind of like race to the skin of my teeth. So I pulled over and let him through so we could all just like, you know, race the way we wanted to. Now not only was this my first pole ever, but this was the first time I'd ever actually started in A for qualifying. So it's new territory for me, and I want to learn in a way that doesn't affect other people's races too. But after the race, I checked the lap times, and to my surprise, I actually smashed it, and I was and still am really proud about that. And I was actually on the same lap as Mark, who won it, which is great because it made me feel confident that I was meant to be in the group, like I was on the same level as all of these other guys. I just need to get more consistent, and from this race I feel like Mark and I are probably going to have a lot of really close bumper to bumper races in future. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button because they are going to be good. After this race, I checked over my car and I saw that I'd taken a chunk out one of my rear foams.
I will swap that tyre over, put a fresh one on. I might take it down to like 47.5.
Because I trued it a little bit too fast, the tyre was uneven, so after another slow pass, I was ready to go. Next up for me was my first race with the MTC, or mini touring car. I'd broken it in the practice of the week before, so I haven't actually managed to race it yet, which I'm sad about because it's a really fun car to drive. Unfortunately for me though, I wasn't racing for long. Oh. What a way to go out, eh? Both front body shell mounts broke, and also a C-hub broke too. Luckily for me, I had a spare C-hub.
Getting good at swapping these over.
But I didn't have any spare front body post mounts, so I had to retire the MTC for the evening. But at least I could hold my head up high and say that it wasn't my fault. It was quite frustrating though, but the marshal did apologise.
Sorry, is that me?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
So it's all good. And hey, these things happen. And for me, actually, it was a little bit of a learning experience. Sometimes I can get frustrated when my car is slow to get marshaled because they're waiting for oncoming cars to pass. But now I 100% agree that every marshal should do this. So from now on, if this happens, I will instead try to refocus myself so I can make up the time I lost from me crashing the car. And I recommend you all do the same too. Oh, and in the touring cars, Jimmy hit a wall and broke another front spool. And then I took it out and got crashed into before the race even started.
My rear wishbone moulding has destroyed. I think my wishbone is okay though, but yeah, the plastic moulding is now no more.
Again, these things happen, and I had a chat with the guy and it's all good. But why does it always happen to me? Oh, so with that, the touring car was also retired for the evening, so from now on we were just focusing on the Mardave. And in the second Mardave race, nothing really major happened. It was just some good old-fashioned racing. But I did have one nice surprise. I won it! And somehow I didn't even realize from the race that I had. It wasn't until they actually announced that I'd won it that I realized, and yeah, I was super stoked.
Oh, let's go.
My first ever A group win ever in RC. Like, for me, this was a really big deal. And I know to many people out there, this may just seem like a little bit silly, but I was and still am super over the moon about it. And I guess the reason why is because it makes me feel excited to feel like I'm like good at racing now. And I know that's not the point of it. It's about having fun and like meeting people, but I'm a very competitive person. And to me, this kind of feels like validation of my interests and like I actually am good at something that I enjoy doing. And for that reason, it just feels really good to me. But would that good feeling last? That's the question. And the only way we're gonna know that is if we talk about the final. I was pretty tense coming into this. I'd won one of the qualifying rounds, so inside I knew there was potential for me to win it. And the week before I came second in the A final. So I was feeling lots and lots of pressure. Not because anyone was putting it on me, just because I was putting it on myself. But I didn't want to put it on myself because I knew if I was pressured and stressed, I was just going to make mistakes. So I was trying to calm down and take it slow. When the race started, I was on second place in the grid and I managed to get a really, really good line off the start. So much so I took first place and got a really, really good lead. All I had to do was not make any mistakes. Unfortunately, I made a couple of mistakes on the same corner and it really started to tilt me. I lost so much time on that second one. And then I heard a call that sounded like somebody else was leading the race, and then that tilted me even further. Listening back to it now, it sounds more like they were saying there was a new leader of the pack behind me, but by that point my brain was already just going insane. And then this happened. And just like that, I'd lost 2 places. But it's kind of okay because I quite like to chase people and put the pressure on, and within 2 laps they'd made a mistake and I was right back with them again. I saw an opening and tried to take the inside line, but I could just not get through. And at every turn he cut on the inside, stopping me from taking the place back. Which was great driving, by the way. I mean, I absolutely hate you for it, but it was great driving. For the rest of the race, I managed to keep my position and I was pretty close to the guy in second place, but I couldn't get through and I ended up coming in third, which to be honest, I'm still pretty proud about.
Good race, mate.
Well played, yeah.
All very fast out there.
And now here we are, and I must say, looking back at the clips and my reaction,
Made so many mistakes. Made so many mistakes.
and also watching the race footage, I didn't make as many mistakes as I thought I did. But still, that error I made where they both got through and put me in third, and then I stayed there for the rest of the race, that's all they needed. I mean, there were other mistakes I made during the race that reduced my lead and gave them time to come up and get right behind me. But this one mistake here where they both got through just goes to show that any error you make, even if it's a big one or a small one, could end up costing you the entire race. So I know that I need to train my consistency and I need to learn how to relax more when on the rostrum. I'm sure a lot of that is going to come with time and experience, but for now, I know what I need to focus on, and that's what I'm going to do. Just like you're going to hit that subscribe button. I know you don't want to miss out on any of these future videos, so hit it now, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.